So I want to ask more about this, because even for me, not being a woman, but also wanting to connect with my inner feminine, like I find that um like I want to be able to relate, or at least to understand, and to be able to connect, like, because I think there has been a big divide between the masculine and the feminine. Just even just looking at the just the general energy in our species for so long, in terms of, yeah, like societal roles and everything like that. And there's clearly biological differences, right, between the masculine and feminine body, but there's also on that like spiritual energetic level where we all have both within us, right? If you want to look at it through like XY chromosomes and this and that. But we all still have the ability to connect with each other, and I think understand each other. So I guess I'd be curious, for myself and all the men listening, like what would you say would be something very important for men to understand about women that maybe has been taken for granted or not as well understood, that is changing in these times that we're in right now?
Ooh, I think gosh, so many things. Um, I think, what my personal thoughts on like the masculine feminine thing, I do obviously agree. We both have both inside of us and we play on both at different times. But I do believe that if you came here and decided to identify as a man during this lifetime, or decided to identify as a woman, you kind of picked a different major, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's like I'm majoring in masculine with a strong minor in the feminine, or I'm majoring in feminine with a minor in the masculine. This is my personal belief on it, because I think they both have different sets of lessons. That being said, as a man, if you identify more in, and let's throw out masculine and feminine, because I feel like then it gets too tricky. So there's receiving and then there's giving, right? And obviously we all do both. But it's like, are you in relationship, do you find yourself wanting to be more of like the tree, right? Are you like a strong structure that wants to provide support, right? That wants to kind of be there, right? Or do you desire to be like the wind, right? Or kind of held by the tree, right? Do you want that? So I think those are like two defining things as well. And I think what's going on, especially for a lot of women right now, is a lot of women are having an identity crisis side with the feminine, because now it's like more safe and more normal to have feelings and be in touch with their emotions and their spiritual side and stuff, which is amazing, that they're having strides on that. But then it's like they're trying to find their balance there too, like, well, what's the balance between like my masculine, like go go go, do, provide, be strong, like that, and that emotional side. Whereas with women, I think a lot of women right now, where men could be really supportive if they want, women are struggling with feeling like they have to do everything, right? Feeling like, okay, I have to go out and be successful, right? I gotta be, I gotta, I gotta make the money. I gotta get the career advancements. I also need to have the children and then be a good mom and make sure like dinner's ready, our home looks like Pinterest worthy, and then be like, like sexy, lover for my husband too. And also like I also still have that feminine part of me that wants to like be treated like a lady, right, and taken care of. And so it's very complex, I think, for women right now, in where they're exploring and even honoring. Like a lot of the stuff that comes up with some of my clients is that they feel so comfortable and then they feel like this is so, you know kind of like a cross section of what's going on, at least for the, this generation of, let's say, 25 to 45-year-old women that are so comfortable asserting their goals and their needs when it comes to business and what they want to make financially and all of that stuff, but feel way more shy about their desires to be a wife and a mom, right? That feel like almost like, gotta put that a little bit to the side because, everyone's going to give me a high five when I'm like, I want to be a 7-figure entrepreneur. Right. Right. And then when I'm like, oh, like, actually, like, I can't wait to be a mom. Right. And it's just, now it's kind of like the reverse of what was going on. And so much of that is because, for how many years we had these very stereotypical roles. We had, the man went out and provided and the women stayed home with the kids. And yeah. And so I think it's just getting a little bit more individual. And now we're having to, accept, we've seen the shadow side of all of it, right? We've seen the shadow side of like the hyper masculine, right? And we've seen the shadow side of, a woman kind of feeling suppressed, right, by that. And so, but now it's kind of like we have to reclaim so much of what our soul's desires actually are and own that. I believe most women, even if they are, ambitious and in their masculine around work, ultimately really still love feeling like they can be in their feminine at home, right? And ultimately still love feeling like they can. I once read this book where this very successful like author or money person or whatever, she was talking about how, her relationship with her husband. And she was like, I melt like butter on toast when I'm with him. Right. And I like it because I have to go out in the world and be like, this like powerful, and I love that. Right. But I love that I get to come home and like melt. Right. And I remember reading that and being like, yes, that. Like that's, that, and I think a lot of women relate to that. So yeah, I don't know if that's like something for men to know. I feel like men are going through their own version of identity crisis. And I think we're moving more towards, in general, a society where we don't have these polarized roles, but we still need to be able to give ourselves permission to claim our soul desires, right? And to know that like if as a man, your soul desires to be a provider, and have that kind of a role, then that's fine. And if as a man, your soul desires to be a stay-at-home dad and, partner up perhaps with a woman that, or another man or a partner who is in that more, provider role, then that's fine too. And same thing for women, that it's okay. So many of the clients I've had the past couple years, like I said, I've had to kind of open and allow them to want the more feminine things too, right? To want to be taken care of, to want to have children, and to make, finding a relationship a priority, making space for that. So I think we're all kind of, in a sensitive place. So the more that we handle each other with compassion, and the more that we just, I think, get really honest and open with like the truth of what we want, right? No matter what that is, the sooner we get open and honest about the truth of what we want and release the judgment around that, the easier it's going to be for us to present that to the world and get it, right? And get someone that, like, not everyone's going to get it, right? But the more that you're clear on it, then the easier you can attract whatever it is you need to fulfill it.
Yeah. It's almost like switching your major. You're talking about, like what major you're in life, more of a masculine path or a feminine path, and being able to, have that, like this part of your life in these years or whatever, you focus very on the business, but then maybe the family or the relationship starts to become more important, and you start to take up that minor, and then soon that becomes a major because it's so important to you that you're really wanting to like evolve in that area.
Yeah.
And
I really believe that our desires are divine, right? I believe that like the things that we think about and the things that we, kind of lean towards are is our soul's GPS leading us in that direction. So, and oftentimes these days that manifests is like you swiping on Instagram and being like, oh, wow, like I'm looking at all these happy couples around the holidays or whatever, and you're like, I've been like, neck deep in my business for 4 years and haven't really gone on any dates. Maybe this is like a little ping to say, open yourself up to dating someone, right? And I think it's just leaning into that. And similarly, I have vice versa, right? I have women that I work with that have been the mom and the wife role that are now like, actually, like I have all these passions and I have all this creative energy and I want to, I want to be start my own business and I want to do that. And I think exactly like you said, it's just kind of honoring where you're at and what your truth is and your desires, and you get to change your major. Like you get to change your major. And also, just because you change your major for a season doesn't mean like doesn't mean that, you can't ultimately. I think more and more of us want all of it, right? And I like to say, like, you can have it all but not all at once.
mm,
So we have to. I like to use the analogy because I'm a cook, so of like back burner and front burner, right? You're going to have back burner things in your life. You're going to have front burner things. So sometimes like you're going to have work on the front burner, and that's the thing that you're stirring, right? And you have like the relationship simmering in the back, because that's kind of like just chilling, or vice versa. Like with your health, sometimes your health's on the front burner and you're like, no, this is like a season where I'm focusing on my health. And I think you just know what's on the front burner and the back burner, and remember it can all be on the stove.
yeah, no, I like that a lot. And I feel like too, I don't know if this will be resonant with everyone listening too, but just even listening to what you're describing, you're saying like a lot of women are feeling like they have to do everything and be everything, and you're listing off all these different aspects. And I feel like that can be true for men too, with the exception that not all men are necessarily looking to be that expansive. I think that's maybe one of the benefits of, benefit and maybe curse at the same time. Like for the feminine consciousness, the kind of way of thinking is it is very expansive. It is very bigger picture, and like water just seeping into every crack. Whereas the masculine often kind of gets very into that single focused mindset. But I can say, at least for myself, is I like the prospect of embodying, it's like, I don't have kids at this stage in my life. I don't know if I will, maybe if I meet the right person one day, but it's like, if that should come to pass, being like that really good father, embodying both, it's like both the strong masculine and that nurturing motherly feminine into a like a really harmonious version of me that takes really good care of those around me in a nurturing sense, but also embodying the more masculine components in as it relates to the work and the drive that I have and this and that. So I feel like I want to be able to embody all of that. But again, yeah, it's like you're saying, it's like maybe not all at once. There's like a learning process. I'm learning this right now, and then I'm learning that. And then, at different stages in your life, you take on different things. And maybe for men listening too, it's like we can take a page out of what the woman handbook, or what you're describing, of saying like it's okay to expand into areas that maybe is not as generally considered a masculine role, because it'll expand our sense of self. It'll expand what we're capable of. And in doing so, we might even bring a little bit more quality to the things that we are currently focused on, right? Like even as, for that kind of that businessman archetype of very focused, wears a suit, gets the work done, like for that role, I found even personally that like being really close and compassionate and connected to my team has really made the team so much stronger than if I was just like some hard ass who didn't care about anyone's feelings. It was just like, just get this video done. I don't care how long it takes, just do it. It's like, no, let's talk about it, let's connect, I think that we can learn a lot from each other if we're just willing to open up and listen.